Oh yeah, I did the voice of BB-8 for Force Awakens.
Wow, BB-8,
my man. And then I think JJ just found a fucking app on his iPad, and that was what he used.
Oh wow!
It was me. I did lines as BB-8, and then they transformed them into beeps and boops. And then
and you made it on The Simpsons, your dream.
That was it. I had 3 goals when I first started.
Let's
one was
hear it.
to be, because I was a page at Letterman, showing people the bathroom was. So one was to be a guest on Letterman. I did it 2 weeks before he stopped.
Okay.
Simpsons, to be voiced in Simpsons. The third one was to host SNL, which I have not.
Wow.
That's coming, baby. Sonic 6.
I did a Letterman thing, but it was on Netflix, like one of those like sit down things, and it was.
Wait, you did his interview show?
Yeah, it was.
That's enormous.
Pull it up. It was stand up.
It wasn't like it wasn't like the one that
Kardashian
did. He did one for stand up. So you do a stand up segment, and then you'd sit down and talk with him, and it was like
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's
crushed.
enormous.
There it is. It was good.
That was a great moment.
Do you realize how insane this is?
It was insane. I mean, that was one of my lines. I was like, "You went to." He goes, "When do you think you'll know when you made it?" And I'm like, "I'm talking to you, dude."
I agree.
And I said, "I'm like, where are you going to be in a couple years?" I said, "You went from Obama to me. Are you going to be talking to a crackhead?"
Oh, I love that.
And he was like, "If I'm talking to anyone, But no,
do you know what this means, though? By the way, this means that he had to have seen you do comedy.
He was very cool.
Think you're funny enough, because he would not have you on the show unless he personally thought you were funny.
He was so cool. I did a thing during COVID where I just filmed a special on rooftops in New York.
Oh, that's great.
So he was like,
what's that called?
It's called Up on the Roof.
Great.
But he...
dude, this is crazy.
He was crazy. He was crazy cool. And it's funny talking to a guy from that era because he doesn't understand how we have to make comedy now, because he came up in the 70s, 80s when you just wanted to get on TV. But he goes, for stand-up, we wanted a sitcom. And I was like, yeah, but they don't really do that often. It's impossible.
It's not real. That's not real anymore.
Because he didn't understand why I put a special out for free. I was like, well, because we make the bulk of our money touring.
Yeah.
He didn't. So he was, I think, you see why he's the best interviewer, because he's so curious.
He is the best. I was a page at that place. I watched him do it. I watched him my whole life. My parents would be lying down their bed like this. I'm like perpendicular to them, and we would all watch Letterman every single night.
Wow.
It was like such a big deal in our house. And then when I was a page there, and I like hustled my way to get that job. We didn't know anybody. So it's like, I got so lucky in getting that job. And when I was a pager, I saw him every night. And then when I started freelancing for the monologue, whenever he ended all of his monologues, he would point to Paul Schaefer and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Schaefer and the CBS Orchestra." And that's how you know no more jokes are going to be said. And so me as a page, I'm there helping people to the audience.
How cute.
Oh, yeah. I just posted that yesterday because I did Colbert yesterday.
Oh, cool.
That's me as a page on the bottom.
Wow.
So 20 years ago. That's me 20 years ago.
That's amazing.
And so then anytime you'd point, it's over and I know I didn't get a joke on. So I started to say like, fuck. And you could hear it in the show, and I started to get yelled at by the audience person, being like, "Ben, you can't be on the floor anymore because you're cursing when you don't get your jokes on." And I was like, "I'm so sorry, I had no idea you could hear that."
Amazing.
Man, you could host. You look right in that desk on the top.
I love Colbert. He's so smart, dude.
He's a very talented guy.
I love Colbert.
I was in college. I was an intern at his show, the Colbert Report.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's huge.
That was a pretty epic experience. And
what does an intern do for the Colbert Report?
Any run they need.
I bet people were nice there, though, no?
Yeah, he was great, and he was incredible. I was there when he threw water in Richard Branson's face.
Oh, wow.
Pull it up.
Richard Branson pulled, and you could hear me saying, fuck, no. But you could see Richard Branson got mad during the interview, so he just takes water and throws it in his face. And Colbert, he got water back. He waved over for his producer to bring water, and he threw it back in his face. And I was like, this ain't a bit. This is weird.
Branson didn't know he was joking, I guess?
No, I think he would fuck with people on that show. I mean, that was kind of what was incredible.
He was playing a character.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of...
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
He was kind of messing with... I mean, it might not be online.
Whoa, scrubbed.
But he was...
Oh, I guess he came on the late
No, it's not on his late night show. It's on Colbert Report.
Well, at least he came back. They rekindled.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it was a tense moment where I was like, that is bad.
Damn.
Did it air, you think?
It aired. Yeah, I mean, you can't not air that.
Right. Takes off his pants. Yeah, I think they scrubbed it.
They scrubbed it.
What the fuck?
It was weird.
That's a good moment.
So was he a dude? Were you watching like Stranger with Candy and Colbert Report?
Love Stranger with Candy. Love Colbert Report. But I think him on late show is pretty fucking awesome. God, wow. Richard Branson's throwing water on everybody's face.
That's his thing.
Is he your late night host? Is he your fave?
Right now?
Yeah.
I love him. I've been lucky enough to do all of them. I did Corden's show 17 times.
17.
I was like, I did it more than anybody else.
Gee,
That's
who canceled?
crazy.
Crazy. By the way, that's literally. By the way, my goal as someone who's a page on Letterman, when they needed someone, he would have his people.
Yes.
I always wanted to be that person, and they weren't even the most famous people. Sometimes they were, but sometimes weren't. And for
Who was Letterman's people for that?
there was a stand-up that came over every Christmas. I forget, and he took a football and he hits like a meatball off the top of the Christmas tree. I forget who the people were, but he had his people. Like Bill Murray, anytime he came on, was was amazing.
My hero.
Howard Stern would come on and be incredible, and he would come a bunch of times a year. Tom Hanks was amazing on that show. But I always wanted to be like the whatever. And then for Corden, I slowly became a thing when people dropped and I lived in LA. They're like, hey, can you come here today and whatever? I'm like, great.
And were you ever on with someone where it just didn't vibe at all? Because they did the 2 guests, right?
Yeah, they do sometimes more than 2 guests. It never really, I've been on with so many people that they kind of use me as someone that could, let's say they have guests and like they need someone to like be a little bit funny or liven it up. I think that I kind of helped with that.
Comedic relief.
I think a little bit, or like to make people feel comfortable, whatever.
Now we did Corden, I think once each.
I did it twice.
I
did stand up. I wasn't a guest, and
That's got to be terrifying.
No, that crowd was juiced.
They were the most juiced, and
because that lives on forever. Like, but can you use those on a special after or no?
Yeah, you probably
you
could.
could use them if you want. I don't think I used all of them, but like
I didn't either.
But I used some of them, and he was one of the coolest in that he would be like, "This is not normal. What this is about." Not everyone does this. He'd be like, it's not normal. What's about to happen? This guy's doing stand up at 5 p.m.
Yeah, dude.
For a studio crowd, give him everything, and like, dude, not everyone does that.
That goes a long way for a young comic.
I love Conan. I'm a huge Conan guy, but he would just be like, "Your next guest."
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
Wait, so who is there? Some show
Fallon
that
does it too.
Is there some show that you always wanted to get on? That like
Conan.
Conan was the one.
We got on Conan.
We did that a few times.
Yeah, because Conan had the coolest music guests and the coolest stand-ups.
And he seemed fun. He didn't like Letterman to me was cool, but he was like this older statesman where Conan felt like a guy I would hang out with.
He was kind of my brother loved Conan so much that it was like that kind of became our guy.
Yeah.
But I love Letterman. Yeah, I mean, he's amazing.
I got to ask though, you did 17 Cordons. That's what I was
Let's
getting
see how many.
to.
13?
Did you do Ferguson?
5 times, I bet.
Wow.
I bet. I've done I did Leno. I've been a guest on every talk show host that was.
Dick Cavett?
He was gone. God, I wish. Yeah, I went on Tom Snyder for 3 hours.
Steve Allen?
Yeah, me and Steve Allen really go back.
I kind of miss. I feel like.
But I love late night. Like I love late night.
I love the crowd. I love the.
I love everything.
Showbiz of it all.
That's not normal anymore. I feel
No.
like podcasting is great, but I turn it on so much harder when there's a crowd there, and I do miss that. Like even doing a live podcast when there's a crowd.
Oh, I bet it crushes. I bet you guys go crazy.
We're
guys
better.
are drawn to crowds. That's what you know.
It's better.
You want the laugh. You want the big laugh in the room.
Yeah.